welcome back to another episode of Before the Rise. This time I am sponsored by Gatorade, Thirst Quencher Cool Blue. We're going to give it up to them, and one day it'll happen. Inshallah, one day it'll happen. Anyways, let's get this started. I just got off a lovely event of UFC 303. I was watching it and I was like, you know what? Now is the time to shoot and go talk about this a little bit and about what's going on in the world. I'm keeping a bi-weekly, posting. I just enjoy that now. I think posting it Friday or Wednesday bi-weekly would be best. I tried Friday. I think I'm going to go to Wednesday just to see how that is. Kind of hump day and get you guys through the week so you can get an update with what's been going on in the past couple weeks of your life. If you've been hiding underneath a rock or working crazy hours, this is going to be the show for you or the podcast for you. Anyways, UFC 303. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be putting up the video for you to watch with me and to see how lovely this knockout by Alex Pereira was. Look at that left kick. Look at that left kick. The guy comes in. Oh my God, this is crazy because when you look at this, you go, like, this guy's a double champ, by the way. Just to let you know, he's going to go to another division to become a third champion. I know it. I know for sure Alex Pereira is going to do it. So this whole fight was just 2 rounds. Okay, I'm going to put my phone down and talk to you guys for a second. This fight was 2 rounds. Within the 2 rounds, the first round, Alex Pereira, on the last 10 to 15 seconds, he was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he got him with the left hook, which his opponent was a rematch with Yuri. So they fought before and Yuri lost, but this was the second rematch, or the first rematch with each other, the second fight. Anyways, left hook, guy is clipped. Alex Pereira left hooks Yuri, falls, last 10 seconds. After that, you then see him go into the second round. And by the way, within the first round, he was dazed. Like, Yuri was down, looking up, like, gone. Like, if that lasted maybe another 10 seconds, you'd have been done, finished. Second round starts, which is absolutely insane. And I'm watching this fight by myself. I see this. He gets up within the first 15 seconds. He threw that kick that I just showed you guys. Oh, my God. It was done. After that, he was limping. The guy was limping when he was getting up. Yuri could not get up. They held him for like 2 minutes, like 2-3 minutes, and it was dangerous. And that makes me think, because I was on Twitter the other day and I was looking at Steve Inman, and I'm going to post a video or two for you guys to watch while I talk about it, which is absolutely absurd. This guy goes over a couple things, getting into fights with people during, like when you're outside, when you go to a crowd or whatever, you're at a bar, whatever it may be, and it just shows you like street fights in general. And Twitter is a crazy ass place, or X, whatever they call it, is a crazy place. When you go on there, you see some uncensored stuff, man, and it like kind of is scary in a sense, because you think about it, like how much it's uncensored, but then you're like, okay, at least it's uncensored. I can see the truth of whatever it is. So these street fights, all right, I'm gonna tell you guys this, you're gonna love it. These videos that I watch, and sometimes I go on a binge of like 2 hours, which get my hands super sweaty, and I'm like, I gotta go fight someone for no reason. I don't even know why I watch it. I think it's an adrenaline thing that I get. The boxing in me that I enjoy doing. When I see someone get knocked down, I'm like, I want to be the one to go knock them out. But it teaches you one thing, that you get in fights with people and you don't know who they are. You might fight someone like an Alex in the world, because Alex is the only one that is showing himself in the UFC, and he's known, right? Imagine how many fighters there are in the world that don't show who they are, but know how to fight and can knock you out within just one quick little tap, right? And these videos I watch and I go, I'm like, damn, these people like legitimately get knocked out, and some of them don't know how to fight. It's all pride and ego, which makes me go back to the conversation I had with my buddy Fareed. He's a boxer. Shout out to him, by the way. Him and I were talking when he came for a haircut, and I did his photo shoots today too. Overall, the accumulation of our conversations usually has to do with boxing or training and whatnot. And I was just talking to him. I was thinking, and I was saying to myself, like, wow, this guy knows how to box. Imagine if you fight this guy and you don't even know that he's a fighter, like outside on the street, right? He looks like a fighter. He's well built, but you don't know what he knows. The only thing that gives it away is his ears. They're like completely covered, because when you get hit in the ear a lot, what happens is there's blood that goes in and then it becomes cartilage. So his ears just completely jacked up. But the dude, aside from that, looks like a normal guy. He doesn't look like a scary menace of a killer. And I go, excuse me, I go to myself like, you know what? If I fought this guy, or if I have to fight someone like this and I don't know, even though I'm well trained, even though I know how to fight, I like to think I know how to fight, you truly don't know what could happen if you get in a fight on the street. And some of these people don't play fair. For example, some of these guys you see, they will legitimately, have guns. They will have knives. I've seen a video on that guy's page, the Steve Inman on X. This guy posted two guys that were in high school, I think, that fought with each other. One was getting bullied, one was the bullier or whatever. So he came to him and kept pushing him. The bully was he kept on pushing this poor guy. He was wearing a hoodie, and I'll see if I can find it so I can put it for you guys to watch. But the guy with the hoodie takes out a knife and stabs him like in the shoulder, then stabs him in the face, and it just rips open, just absolutely rips open, and you can see this guy's face like bleeding out, and you're like stressed. You're like, wow, like this guy legitimately could have died, and no one can do anything because at that time, everyone's a victim. If someone has, a gun, or if they have a knife, they legitimately all are victims. Like if you are against the person that has a gun or knife, you're a victim. So I was very well astonished about the fact that pick your fights wisely, pick who you want to hit wisely, and all this stuff. It just really, really makes you go into this rabbit hole of things like, how can I even trust the fact that if I'm well equipped and I know how to fight, that I would even win, right? And there's so many dumbasses out there, and excuse my language, there's so many of them that you guys think you know how to fight, and you go and you're like, oh, I'm going to be a hotshot. You get a little bit of alcohol in your system. You think you can pop someone in the face. There's going to be a dude, I promise you, there will be a dude that absolutely does not care about who you are, and he will pop you. He will give right to, lead bullets right in your forehead, and then you got nothing. Or he might stab you in front of your girl, and then what are you gonna do about it? And then all that pride and ego that you think you know how to do, taekwondo, karate, or kickboxing or boxing, didn't get you jack. It didn't get you anything. So that tells you one thing, that you gotta be careful. And this goes out to those people that are very, very cocky and prideful, that I know some of you watch, by the way, and you don't want to admit it, and some of you don't. And I hope you guys do share. If you do know those type of people, don't get in fights. And if you do, just know that your pride and ego is not worth your life. Trust me, it's not. And you might think it is, but there's people out there that will not hesitate even 1% or 1 second or even a blink of an eye. They'll pull the gun and just unload their whole clip on you, and then you can go ahead and thank them for that. But anyways, that's my UFC 303 talk to you guys, and I'm gonna go on to the next thing that I have for you. This week has been absolutely crazy. I actually wrote a couple things for you guys. I think you might like the conversation I have for you. And that is, there's this thing called Gemini, and Google came up with it, and then iOS AI, obviously, and then how that is incorporating in our life. This year has been something that been shy less of astonishing, in the sense of like the advancements we've made in AI, right? We went from regular AI that was just choppy, nasty, sloppy, Siri, things like that, to things like ChatGPT to help you write papers, to even have full conversations, to robots, to things that you legitimately can be threatened by. As a human race, we all can be threatened by, because think about it. Not only do jobs go away, but if a computer is self-sustaining and thinks on its own, it will plan 10 steps ahead of you. It will think 1,000,000 times faster than you. Yes, our brains are capable of a lot of things, but think about it. How are we going to go against a computer that knows how to code better than you, think better than you, and doesn't need sleep, doesn't need to go to the bathroom, doesn't need any kind of resting? Yeah, it might need a little bit more power in, getting its semiconductors being cooled off in that sense, or to have a fan running on it so it doesn't blow up. But aside from that, what can you really say? How can you even prove that we would not be overtaken or overruled by robots or by OpenAI? Just think about it. Everything that we're saying, we're going, oh my God, the advancement that we created and everything we've done, how has it made us better? But in reality, it's been detrimental to us in a lot of ways. Yes, there's certain things that are good, but think about it. A lot of jobs, a lot of things that are necessary for humans to run are being overtaken by robots. And some things we don't need and some we do. Like, for example, fast food. Yeah, fast food's going to be ran by robots, and they're going to get our food ready in time and just chop it up and go. That's fine. But think about it. How are you going to tell a robot, please make my, burger extra crispy or no cheese on this? What if they put a cheese? How are you going to explain to it, can you go take it off? Can you go take it back and take it off for me? It's going to be hard. It's a long way to go. However, the advancements we have made so far are scary, because here's why I say this. Gemini and iOS AI, I'm sure you guys have seen the release of iOS 18, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is absolutely scary. You can come up with anything. There's ways to hide your apps. There's ways to basically contact people without even showing your identity. I mean, I already get crazy unknown callers. Imagine someone that has the ability to do that, right? Psycho people that don't care and have no repercussions. They can use their phone to do anything, basically harass anybody. And if everyone is doing that, how is the government going to control that? They can't unless they ban it, right? You have all these different features of iOS AI. It's just scary because now we look at it, every single company wants to be a part of that. Now, when we go to the next thing, which is Google, guess what they're doing? They got Gemini, which is another OpenAI of Google. And Google is the number one search engine in the world. Google has everything that you can possibly think of. Although, yes, it's not everything in the dark web and we don't see the dark web. Everything on the web that we do see, it does have. So if you think about it, in all honesty, imagine how much power Google has. Imagine how much Google is running everything right now. And you and I can absolutely not do jack about it. Absolutely nothing. And they came up with a new machine. I think it runs 282 million times faster than their previous processor. 282 million times faster. Think about that. And I want you to let that sink in, because yes, we say, oh, you're being a conspiracy theorist. Oh, bros, it's not that serious. Blah, blah, blah. But in all honesty, think about it. If every little bit of information you search, you post, you delete, you look at, whatever you do, is monitored, studied, and then altered and tailored to change your perception of the world, how is that any different than ultimate dictatorship? How? And in my last podcast, I told you guys about this, is the US and the West, you like to say freedom. Freedom is what we're here for. Freedom is what we die for. Freedom is what we live for. X, Y, Z. Freedom, freedom, freedom. But if you really think about it, is that genuinely freedom? Freedom. It's not. None of that is freedom. And you really get into this kind of thought process where you go, okay, we are always fighting about freedom, but everything we do is monitored. Every little thing we do is monitored. And there's no running away from that. Whether you live in the United States or not, there's no running away from that anymore. We've come so far in technology. We've come so far in the world now. Anywhere you go that is civilized will have a cell phone. Anywhere that you go that is civilized will have surveillance. It will some way, somehow, one way or another. Look at the terms and agreements of what your phone has. When you actually sign that thing, what are you agreeing to? Look at it. The past 15 years, if you look at it, one of the things that come up, and if you don't believe me, just look at your terms and agreement when you sign for iOS 18. All the data that you look up, all the data that you put in here is for free usage for Apple to do anything with it. Anything and everything with it. Which then makes us go to that point of what is the line of control and what is the line of freedom. And it's a fine line. Freedom can be, hey, I can search up something without having to get caught, right? But then if you have too much freedom, that leads to chaos. And then if you have control to the point where you give false freedom, that's still chaos, right? So propaganda, things like this, all that, it's evident and it's absolutely real in our life. And if you don't believe me, I want you guys to do one thing. If you have someone else with you watching this right now, or if you don't, grab someone else's phone, look into what their search engine shows on Google versus yours on the word, for example, Afghanistan or California or the Taliban or death or conspiracy. Look at how different it's tailored for you and for them. Look at your TikTok videos. Look at your Instagram reels. Everything, every little thing that you look at, it's tailored just to make sure that they can get right to you and control what you think. And that is how you mass control right there, is by putting and implementing the idea of freedom, But behind it, it's actually control, because you're propagating everything you're saying. It's all propaganda. Everything you do is altered and tailored to make sure that they can let you know what they want you to know, right? And I will let you know, or I will let you just think about who they may be, right? And we all know that. And as much as you like to say, oh, it's just a conspiracy, bro, it's not. It's not. This world is no longer a conspiracy. These things are no longer fake. You can't say, oh, it's just fake. Yeah, if you might say the earth is flat, whatever, that's different. But control and who the real world leaders are, it's not what you're seeing. And you know that. And you know that more than anyone. Your eyes are awakening now, and you're seeing it yourself. And this isn't about like, oh, Andrew Tate goes Matrix. It's not. I knew this even when I was young. My father would tell me about it. This is the truth. We're lied to, and we have to accept it. And this was something crazy, because Elon talked about it himself. Elon Musk said that anyone that has an Apple phone will have to get it confiscated before they work at X, right? Before they come to work, they cannot use any Apple products because of the open AI that they have, or the iOS AI. So this will now cause more, unemployment. This would probably cause a division within companies. This will cause a partnership to break, many problems to arise, and who knows what might happen. This might be where Elon will introduce his own phone, because that's also in the Twitter sphere of everything, or X, whatever you want to call it. People are talking about it. He might come out with his own phone. And then again, he might say all that freedom stuff, but is it really freedom? Look at your Tesla. It's recording 24/7, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing around the car. Is that freedom, or is that surveillance? Think about that, right? These are some interesting things, because I like to talk to you guys about this, since I feel like not a lot of people really bring up the valid points about this and how it can genuinely change our lives. And we're usually talking about, oh, it's fake, oh, it's just a conspiracy, or we're all in our own little worlds worrying about the own little dumb stuff that there is. But we don't talk about how is this going to affect the future, the kids, the people that are going to come after us. We're going to die. At 100 years from now, this video will be the only remnants of me online. There will be no visual format of me anymore. It will just be only the video. It won't be any tangible thing that you could touch. I'm no longer going to be a person. I'll be dead in 100 years. 100% I'll be dead. All of us that are watching are going to be dead. So think about it. What are we going to leave after that for the continuation of our legacy that we created? These are things that you guys got to think about. And if you don't, then you're doing something completely wrong. You're too invested in other people's bullshit. You're too invested in gossiping. You're too invested in breaking relationships up. You're too invested in worrying about he said, she said. Oh, I got to go start drama here, do this, do that. Whether you're Afghan, whether you're not, whether you're American, whether you're Muslim, whether you're not, whatever it is, stop with that, because you're going to die. All of us will die. I will guarantee you that we will all die. And I promise you, when you meet your maker, whatever you believe, when you die and you meet your maker, if you even have 1% of belief that there will be God and you meet him, I promise you, you will regret it when you make those mistakes. 100% you will regret it. There will be no doubt about that. So think about it. How are you literally living your life? Well, I'll say that 5 times. How are you living your life, really? And how are you changing everything? These are the things that I think about a lot, because as you see yourself and growth and everything that comes with our life, how are we genuinely finding self-peace, right? What is it that we're doing to get self-peace, to help us become happy, to make better decisions, to not cause gossip, to not cause issues for others? And this is something I talked about with my wife when we were looking at the presidential debate, is that the two people that we're going against right now, and I'll put up a video while you guys are watching this, I'm going to go over it. Trump and Biden are talking about things that absolutely have nothing to do with the middle and low class. It's all upper class. This is a facade. A lot of people believe, like, if Trump becomes the leader, then we're going to have a wonderful life. If Biden's the leader, we're going to be okay. We need someone else. We need this. We need John F. Kennedy. We need whatever, or whatever his great-great-grandson. Let me be crystal clear. These leaders are puppets to what is really going on and what the agenda is. There is no doubt about that. Did you see what Trump said? I'm going to put it up for you guys right now, and you can watch it with me. And I'm going to actually go ahead and watch it with you guys, too. Look at what he's saying about Palestinians and how Joe Biden is literally like that guy. Look at this.
Producer of support for Israel of anyone in the world.
You should let him go and let him finish the job.
Look at that. Wow, crazy.
He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad
See
Palestinian.
That?
He's
so,
a weak one.
Look, the point I'm making is exactly that. One moment he was all about peace. The next moment he's comparing Palestinians that are dying to Joe Biden and that the war isn't finished, it needs to be finished. Israeli enforcers need to finish everything, all X, Y, and Z. Look at those people that, support Trump. The Afghans that go, Trump is going to get our economy back. Everything's going to be fine. Biden saved us from civil war, whatever. It does not matter. It does not matter who your leader is. Let me tell you that and make it absolutely clear to you. You are just a pawn in a pool. You cannot do anything. These leaders will decide. Those two are going to go be friends right after that conversation. You think it's not the truth? It is the truth. I 100% will agree with you. If you say that I'm crazy, go ahead. I'll say I'm crazy, yes. But I'm crazy because I know the truth and I believe in the truth. But I will also tell you this, that I'm 100% certain. I'm certain that all this is a facade. If you don't believe it, look at the elections of the 2008 versus 2012 when Obama ran back to back. He changed from he doesn't support gay rights to he does. It's all just propaganda to change and get votes and to make sure that division is real. Because remember, if we're one unified and we're actually the United States, how advanced will we be and how much would it be harder to control us? It would be a lot harder because as the population, we are 300 plus million against like maybe a couple 100,000 people that are very rich, right? But if we're divided into sectors, those couple 100,000 people will be able to control us in a very simple manner, in a very easy manner. And they won't have any problems. You know why? Because they'll know. They'll be like, oh, you know what? We're able to do whatever we want because these people are too dumb to just look up. They just believe everything we say. And this is absolutely something that I find absurd in our lives because it affects us. And we do not think about the future. I'm telling you guys, we don't think about the future. We are so caught up with the fact that we want to live a great life and have money and flaunt chicks and have a bunch of girls, have a bunch of dudes, look hot, look absolutely amazing, jack ripped, look with the best cars, flaunt that you got cash. None of that means shit. I'm telling you that none of that means shit. And anyone that flaunts that, you're nothing but just scum. It's honestly the truth. You're scum. If you think you got money, cars, and girls, and you got materialistic things, you're something special, you're absolutely not. I'll give you the little wake-up call. You're not. And if you're flaunting that you're praying and you're giving sadaqah or you're giving charity, as they call it, anything like that, that also makes you a scum, my friend. Because goodness should stick with you and God only. It shouldn't be shared with the whole world. So this tells you how much we're in a really nasty culture all around the world. Whether you're Muslim or not, whether you're Afghan or not, whether you're American or not, whether you're European or not, it does not matter. We're in a very nasty thought ideology of a place, I guess you could say, or we're having ideological warfare at this point. There's the very left, very right wing, very centered, and then there's the people that are considered conspiracy theorists. There's people that are actually conspiracy theorists. They're just coming up with random stuff. Everything is just in a melting pot. Everything is just all over the place. Because why? Chaos is what people feed off of. Chaos sells money. And I mean that. Chaos sells money. The idea of money is sold when there's chaos. If there's no chaos, no one cares about money. Chaos sells money. It sells drama. It sells anything you can think of. Clothes, food, division, war, everything. Medals that you get as a general. That's from chaos. That's not from sitting back home and chilling. Right? And we do not think about the legacy that we leave for the future. We don't. And we complain all the time. Why is it that the world is so bad? Look at yourself. Look at the people around you. Look at the past 30 days, what you ate, what you talked about, who you talked to, what was around you, who was around you. And then you'll know how bad people are. You'll know how much they don't care. How much people are willing to buy you for $1 million and your worth and your trust and sell you like that and get rid of you. And then guess what? You're left all alone. And then you go where? Right 6 feet underneath the ground and you'll meet your maker eventually. And then guess what happens? You're going to look back at your life and be like, I messed up. I wish I lived it better. Not meaning I just sat there and prayed to God, but I lived better for the community, for the world, for the people that I was around, and for the legacy that I wanted to leave. And I hope you guys really do take that to heart and make some changes in your life and people around you. Because I promise you, the things that you think matter right now, majority of it doesn't. Majority of it doesn't. but the things that are really, really ingrained in our ancestors and our life and history that truly changes the world, those are the things we need to focus on. Anyways, thank you so much for watching another episode of Before the Rise podcast. I really enjoy talking to you guys. I love that I get to share my thoughts with you and to hear stuff back. People are watching, people are sharing. So please continue that. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at Brosy. I will leave that on the screen as well. If you'd like to listen to this podcast on Spotify, if you're not, you can listen to it at Before the Rise podcast. It's the same on YouTube. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you can also watch it on YouTube. Other than that, I wish you guys the best of luck. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and night whenever you're watching this. Other than that, chama, and I'm out.